Dave, let's go.
He's ready. It's a light on.
I call this meeting to order, a special meeting of November 13th. Pledge of allegiance, please. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Introductions. Let's start over here, please.
Sure. Michelle McClellan, Assistant Superintendent.
Alfreda Fournier, Mayor's Representative.
Pat Gaudier at large.
Katie Gronin, Superintendent.
Bonnie Hayes, Ward 2.
Faith Fontaine at large.
Brian Belknap, Ward 4.
Karen Matthew, Ward 3.
And Dan Pousson is just coming in from Ward 5.
Bob Neely, Ward 1.
Oh, sorry, Bob, I thought I heard your voice.
It's okay.
I was looking at Dan to come in here. Dan, you want to do it?
Yep. Dan Poisson, Ward 5.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and I'm sorry, Bob. Okay, approval of an agenda? The agenda is to go into executive session to discuss the superintendent's evaluation. So, public participation.
Well, you still have to move to approve the consent.
Let's move to approve the consent agenda, please. I have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Someone wants to speak.
All in favor? We just did the agenda. So now we come to the interesting part. This is the public participation. I have to read this, so just bear with me. The committee will be having a 15-minute window of public participation to allow the public a chance to comment on school matters. The reason for tonight's limited time for public participation is due to the need for the school committee to accomplish the important work in item 4 below. The committee values community input and wishes to remind the public that there are multiple ways to communicate concerns to the school committee and administration: email, phone, etc., coffee, whatever. The school committee asks the public to remember our system-wide code of conduct and the 6 core values of respect, honesty, courage, compassion, fairness, and responsibility while directly addressing the group. Our policy, JIC, states that we expect people to treat others as you would like to be treated. Use language that is appropriate and kind and truthful and forthright in speech and actions. Per our policy, BEDH, public participation at school committee meetings, citizens may comment on any general topics related to the school system during this portion of the agenda. Comments related to specific agenda items may be held until the appropriate time. Please be succinct and speak once for less than 3 minutes or 3 minutes. Other limitations may be necessary. The school committee may respond to your concerns at a later date by answering through the administration or placing the item on a future agenda. It is requested that comments related to specific personnel be channeled privately to the appropriate administrators. Now I'll open up for public session. Sarah?
I'm Sarah Duchette. I live at 120 Blanchard Street here in Auburn. I have 2 children in the school department, and then a whole lot of students because I teach at EL. So I think tonight would have been a good night for me to have a nice long speech. I would have had a lot of airtime. But anyway, I just came tonight to kind of do a shout out to Edward Little High School. Right now, this evening, as we sit here, they're doing a cultural Thanksgiving because it's my first year at the high school. It's my first time experiencing that, and what an awesome experience. I went and I got some henna, and there were a whole bunch of different students and families present, and there was great music, a variety of music. There was a variety of food. There's an art show going on. Just lots of positivity and embracing people's differences. And so I just wanted to share that with you in case you weren't aware of that happening. Thank you.
Very much. That was very nice. Thank you, Sarah.
Going to head up to that after. It's supposed to be till 8, so we may I may have time, you all might not have time, but Michelle and I will have time to pop in.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak at this time? Okay. I'd like a motion to go into executive session, please, for the purpose of discussing the superintendent's evaluation pursuant to MRSA 4056A. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I would like to, when I see with our friend, the attorney here again tonight, considering everything that's happened in the last 10 days, I wonder why we should have to pay an attorney to go into this executive session.
The attorney will be here until we finish the superintendent's evaluation so that we are doing it correctly at the end of it. Okay. Any other discussion?
Well, I have a point of discussion. Doing it correctly means what we're at is a stage where we are completing evaluation forms. I've gone through the manager's evaluation twice. I've gone through the library director's evaluation twice. We've always done them electronically and at home and at our own leisure. I am very uncomfortable doing this with everybody in the same room. And I have a question about those who have already completed forms. Were they made to sit in one room to do all of this collectively, like we're being made to do?
Nobody has completed any forms yet. Nobody has done the 1, 2, 3, 4s yet.
I saw information that showed
Where did you see the
in
information?
the executive session.
The executive session, yes, we are going to do the 1, 2, 3, 4s tonight. That should not have been made public at all.
What we had in front of us showed work already done by other people.
There
Oh,
are two
two
things.
different
There are two different things, Elfrida. First of all, we had the questions that we all answered, that first evaluation part of it,
That we all did at home.
that we all did at home. Right, right.
The thing that Tom sent out,
That-
Right, I did not do those.
Right, we know.
Well,
Because I was waiting for the process to be done correctly.
Well, we did send them out, and people did come back with them on it. So we did look at those. We did that in an executive session. We reviewed those. And then the second thing that we've done is that tonight was after we had the superintendent doing her evaluation and ranking herself 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I'm telling anything out of tune.
No,
Ranking
that's-
her 1, 2, 3, 4.
Those are public
We're
documents.
going back now, and we're at the final step, really, to doing it, so that what we're going to do is go through the list of her goals that she filled out, too, and that we're going to rank her 1, 2, 3, 4. And Peter, our Drummond and Woodson attorney, Peter Fremley, is here to kind of guide us through it and help us come to a consensus. That's what he's doing here tonight. So we're going in, we're going to review her goals, and we're going to rank them, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to come to a consensus on each goal, and then Faith and Brian and I will compose a letter with Peter's help if needed, to be put into Katie's file, and we will review it with Katie before it goes into her file. That's the process, that's the procedure, that's where we are tonight. So we're going in, we're going to review her goals, just like she gave to us, and we're going to come to a consensus of what we need to do, what we're going to present to Katie. So, any further discussion?
I just want to make it clear that we are all given the opportunity to fill out our personal evals of Katie at home at our own time. The only thing that we're being asked to fill out in executive session is the evaluation of the steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 with the personnel information that Katie has provided us with. That could not leave executive session. That's why we're being asked to fill that out in executive session.
So we need to make sure that everybody here has had a chance to complete it. I know I did not complete it, waiting for...
Nobody has.
Right.
Nobody
No.
has.
Nobody's done that step.
No, I'm
Nobody's
talking
done that step.
what we got home from Tom Kendall.
That should have been done way back in September.
We were given a deadline.
And we
And that was extended so that we'd all have more time.
And from that, we got questions, we developed questions that Brian and I went through and consolidated the questions according to the titles or to whatever the subject was. And then those questions were presented to Katie. And I believe your questions were there too.
Oh, that was done
So
inside
that was
executive
part
session.
of that on
Right,
it.
that
So,
part I did.
all right, so that was that
The
part of
initial
it.
part. And new members, have they had a chance to do the form that Tom Kendall sent?
No,
Nope.
I don't know what form you're talking about.
But now we're back to what we're doing tonight. We're back here to.
But Karen got copies of the forms that we all filled out in our packets.
Yes, you did. You got copies of the forms.
Yes, that I saw
Yes,
that night.
Right.
yes.
But when
right.
the forms were filled out, Karen hadn't been elected to the board.
Right, right. So what we've done is that now we're going into executive session to determine where we think her goals are for her evaluation. So it can be put in her file.
Right,
So that's what we're doing
right.
tonight.
The goals, I understand.
So what I'm hoping that we can do is that it's 6:15 at this time. I'm hoping to have those questions completed, or that information completed by 7:30, so that we can have Peter talk to us and form the consensus with us on it. So by the time Mr. Manili needs to leave, we have gotten everything, the consensus done, so that Faith and Brian and I know where we're going with it. All right, so is there any further discussion? Because I believe, Pat?
I'd like to speak to Bob's question about Peter Femley being here. I've spoken with Peter on the phone, and I think what we're doing and what we've been involved with is very serious. And I go into executive session now with some trepidation, and I would really, really appreciate Peter being there so that he can explain things, legal things, if necessary. That's my personal feeling, and I really don't want to go in there without Peter. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Let's go.
All those in favor? All those opposed? We're going into executive session, and Mr. Femley is coming with us. We will not be coming out except to adjourn. There'll be no other information given tonight. So we'll come out and adjourn when we're finished. Thank you all.